everyone. Welcome, welcome. We will give it just a few minutes for folks to join, but typical intro to a webinar, where is everyone joining from? And because the weather is kind of crazy everywhere right now, what's the weather like? Right now, I'm out of Denver, Colorado, and it's a sunny, clear day. I think it's supposed to be pretty warm here today. Got Phoenix, Florida, Philly. Doesn't it always rain in France, Samia?
But in general, it's not 39 days straight of raining. We're
That is a
kind of
lot.
getting tired of it right now.
That is quite a lot of rain.
Yeah,
Germany.
I think I could do some Tampa Bay weather. Natasha, if you would lend me your weather.
We had a bit of a cold front, so now that it's warm again, I'm not giving it to anyone, as if that's my decision.
Obviously, it is.
Cool. What about you, Megan? What's the weather in Philly?
Actually, Philadelphia is warming up a little bit, so it's getting nice, and the snow's melting. So I'm happy about that.
Nice. Phoenix, a little chilly for us today. I grew up in Arizona, so I think like 65 is chilly in in Arizona. 42. Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely chilly. That's cold. Yes. Cool. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? Let me share my screen with our slides here. All right, let me click slideshow. Okay, just moving some stuff around. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. I know calendars are packed, so we'll definitely make this worth your time today. We've shipped a lot of features over the past couple of months, and today is kind of really about stepping back and showing how all of that fits together. So let me just introduce the team really quickly. My name is Chelsea Davis. I'm the Director of Product Marketing. And with me today, I have our amazing product team with Megan, Natasha, and Samia, who will all be jumping into the product and showing you all of the cool new stuff in action today. So just a couple of housekeeping items. Yes, this is being recorded. We'll make sure to send it out to anyone who's joined today and with anyone who hasn't joined or wasn't able to join today. And then if you have any questions along the way about anything, please feel free to pop them into the chat. We'll have some time at the end of today's session to answer a couple of questions live. So any questions that you have, definitely feel free to plop those in. Cool, so diving right in. When many of you, or probably all of you, started using Crossbeam or started with Crossbeam, it was definitely about answering kind of one main key question, and it's where do we overlap with our partners? And for many teams, that's where it starts with account mapping. But as your ecosystem grows, so does the need for clarity and the decisions that are tied to it. So because that complexity doesn't just increase, it multiplies. So at the center is account mapping, that foundation, and that hasn't changed. So secure overlap visibility is still kind of that starting point. But over time, you add more partners, which means more overlap combinations, more co-sell relationships, more coordination. And then you layer in products. And now you're not just asking who overlaps, but you're asking, where there's opportunity with which products and which expansion paths. And then the more stakeholders get involved, right? So you have sales, channel, RevOps, everyone is kind of like starting to rely on this ecosystem data and insights associated with your ecosystem data. And ultimately, more decisions are tied to this data. Where to focus, where to prioritize, which partners to prioritize, which deals need attention, and just how to collaborate overall. And so when all of that expands, clarity really becomes the difference between momentum and noise. And so that's what our latest release is all about, bringing clarity, depth, and scale to a growing ecosystem. So this release really centers around those three kind of core pillars: clarity, depth, and scale. So first, bringing everything into one connected view, and then adding deeper context and signals to your ecosystem data, and then finally operationalizing it across growing teams. So let's start with the clarity side of things and just kind of dive in here. So as I mentioned, clarity is kind of about, one place, one view, everyone on the same page, or like my inside dad joke to myself is everyone on the same list, which I find it funny. I don't know if anyone else does, but I kind of giggle to myself every time I say that line. But it's really just a clear way to explore and act on your ecosystem. And so with this release, we've really reimagined how teams access, organize, and share account mapping in Crossbeam. And so today we want to showcase our new list experience, which helps just make everything consistent, cohesive, and easier to use, while also just giving you that ability to slice and dice your ecosystem data in a more effective way for you. So this new list experience, it still allows you to leverage, your existing functionality of being able to map accounts directly with a specific partner to uncover, those shared customers and new opportunities. But what it layers in is just easier collaboration. So you can easily filter lists down to the accounts that matter with more granular filtering available. You can share with your teammates and just stay aligned with that additional context via our new notes feature, which Megan will dive into, all in one place. So really allowing your teams to go from insight to action faster. And a cool update here for you is as a full access seat, as a full access user, you can now create and share these targeted lists with your sellers, so with your sales seats. So they'll have the ability to collaborate on key strategic accounts as well. And so you'll see my exciting asterisks here for external sharing, which will be available in beta, because the ultimate collaboration experience is also to share a dynamic list of strategic accounts with your partners as well. So we'll dive into that in a little bit as well. And we're also providing you all with a true 360-degree view of your full ecosystem right off the bat, with that key information front and center with our new account mapping list. So I actually want to dive in and show you kind of what that looks like here. Of course, if you've logged into Crossbeam in the past few days, you might have noticed that we've updated our navigation as well. So we've pinned our key system lists that we're calling to the top of the navigation for easy access. And if you're a Crossbeam power user, you've probably noticed that we also broke out the two lists inside Deal Navigator into separate, easily accessible lists on their own. So really leaning into this clarity side of things, and we've also made a few other changes in the navigation as well that you'll see. And if you've logged in recently, we have a whole app tour set up to kind of guide you through those changes. But this is your account mapping list. This is your 360-degree ecosystem view, organized and just ready for action. So it's really about complete visibility, but more importantly, it's flexible. So you start off with everything and you can kind of filter down to what you need. You can filter by population, partner impact, partner tag, which has been a popular request, as well as region, pipeline stage, or product, which is a little hint to what we'll showcase coming up. But again, these are dynamic lists that you can save and share with your colleagues. So in terms of access, who gets access to this account mapping list? For our free customers, you'll have access to a preview of your account mapping list. So you'll see the first 10 records here. And then to access more, you'll need to upgrade your plan. But for all of our paid plans, you'll have full access to the account mapping list and all of the functionality included. And then, as I mentioned, we're making these dynamic lists available to share externally with your partners with our latest beta that we'll be launching. So you can create those dedicated lists and share those dynamic views with key partners on strategic accounts. So you can choose exactly what you want to share and what you want to keep private, while still layering in those collaborative features like our notes functionality. And you'll also be able to get notified when there's movement and new context on your shared list. So really cool beta. If you're interested in joining this, you can log in and request access via our labs location in app. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen and I will hand it over to Megan, who's going to walk us through how this works in app and some real life use cases. So let me stop sharing.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. Let me jump into our demo instance here. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to call out, as Chelsea mentioned, there have been some changes to the navigation. So I just want to point out some quick tips for you here. Now you can find the universal search, notifications, as well as the AI chat over here on the left-hand side nav. I'm also going to go over the account mapping list that Chelsea just mentioned, which is your 360 view of your ecosystem. And I do want to call out that we've separated out Deal Navigator and Pipeline Generation, so you can find them here in the left side nav as well. And I'll also review our new list homepage, where you can find all the lists that you created and that have been shared with you. To get started, let's jump into this account mapping list. So this is going to show you all of the overlaps you have across all of your connected partners. And the first thing I'll do here is you can apply some quick filters. So if I come in here, let's say within this list, I just want to see our prospects. So I'll edit my populations here. And let's say I'm focused on 3 specific partners and I want to see customers of theirs. So I can come in here and add additional filters. I'll say I want to see customers of Bozala, Surfster, and Yard. One thing to call out here as well, you can also get more granular. Right now, by selecting my specific partner name, I'm including all of the populations that have been tagged as customer, but I could come in here and just choose specific populations if I wanted to. All right, so I will set that filter, and then all you have to do is click out, and then this is going to reload for you. And what's nice is I can come in here to this overlaps with column, and let's say I just want to sort to descending. And this is going to bring all of the mutual overlaps up to the top here. So I can see my account attentive is an overlap for all 3 of those partners. I can actually click into this account detail drawer. And even though I've filtered this list down to 3 specific partners, I can also see any other partners that have this account as an overlap and from which population. So I could see here that AWS also has them as a customer. All right, and now some of the cool new functionality here is I can save this as a new list. And once I do that, I'm actually able to share it with other users in my organization. So let's say I want to come in here and I want to share this with my sales rep, REA. I would just search for his name here and click share. And then once I do that, I can adjust REA's access based on whatever roles and permissions we have set up for him. So I could leave him as a manager, which means he has full visibility into this list and can edit, delete, add notes, or share this list with other team members. Or I could grant him editor access, which allows him to do all of those things except for additional sharing. Or I can make him a commenter or viewer. So I'll leave him as a manager here. I could also copy this link. And when I do this, I can send this link and share it to anyone with a Crossbeam seat, and they'll have view access into this list. Now that I've invited REA, I'm going to add a note here for him to check out this account. And once I do that, you'll see your note populate right here in the list. And what's nice is when you click view all notes here, you're going to see a history of all of the conversations that have taken place about this specific account in the list. And to Chelsea's point, another thing I want to point out is when you do create a single partner list, if you join our external sharing beta, when you go to share here, you'll not only see internal team members, but you'll see the option to share with that specific partner. All right, now that I've done that, I want to show you the new list homepage. So again, in the nav, you can click on lists here. And this is going to show me all of the folders that contain lists within my organization. as well as all of the lists that have been created. I can also filter by lists that I've specifically created or lists that have been shared with me. And also from this view, I can create a new list. So you can create a single partner, greenfield, or custom list here, and this will kick off that specific list creation modal. Or you can jump over into that account mapping list, which I just showed, as well as pipeline generation and deal nav, or create a new list folder. So that's a quick overview. Please let us know if you have any questions. And if you are interested in joining the external sharing beta, all you have to do is navigate to our labs page here under settings, and that's where you can add yourself to the waitlist. All right, I will pass it back to you, Chelsea.
Cool, amazing. Thank you for that nice overview. Let me bring the slides back up here. Okay. So I guess to kind of continue with our theme here, like once everything is in one place, the next question becomes like, okay, how do I make smarter decisions? And that's where the depth piece of this comes in. So more context, better signals, and just smarter decisions overall when it comes to prioritization. So let's dive into what we have to showcase here. So last week we launched our ability to natively support product lines, so syncing your product data into Crossbeam, so bringing that product context into your ecosystem. So I do want to note that this is currently only available for Salesforce CRM at the moment. So if you're leveraging a different CRM to host your product information, just note that this is available for Salesforce currently. But this is essentially giving you the ability to sync your product object, so essentially your product catalog, into Crossbeam to then be able to leverage that data and that additional context when you're actioning your ecosystem data. So not just looking at, which accounts you share with your partners, but which products are actually in play here. And this really makes it easy to identify that white space, prioritize the right partners on a deal, and just run more targeted go-to-market motions. And so I do want to touch on kind of like the access you get to leverage product line support within your plan. So for our free plans, you're able to sync in that product data, and you can leverage that as a filter within your standard populations that you're building. Within our connector plan, you're able to also leverage that within your custom populations, as well as view product data with any partner that has shared that opportunity level data with you. And then in our Supernode and Enterprise plans, you're able to take full advantage of the product line filtering and functionality that comes with this new release. So I just wanted to note that. And I also wanted to just talk through kind of like the 3 ways that you can leverage this product context. So when you're filtering down by product within any sort of list you're building, or even within the performance dashboard, you can filter by your product. So I want to call out that this is your product data available to you that you can leverage within those areas. As I mentioned, you can share product-based populations, so you can layer in that product context when you're building and sharing your populations with your partners. And you can also filter by these populations within lists themselves. And then the other piece here is if a partner is sharing that opportunity level data with you, you can dive into that data and you can see specific products that are associated with those opportunities as well. And just to kind of piggyback on that, like that context becomes even more powerful when paired with our ecosystem signals. So these signals are real-time CRM updates from your partners. So things like when they open an opportunity or when they mark a deal closed won. And these are like incredibly high value moments. So they're the exact signals that your reps and your systems need to help prioritize accounts or trigger workflows in place. So we launched our opportunity-based signals, so signals based on opportunity data within your partner's CRM back in November. So this essentially sends, a signal to Crossbeam every time a partner opens or closes a deal. So you're essentially getting alerted to your partner's CRM movement. But we've since layered in with this release contact level data points to these existing ecosystem signals, which means that now when a signal fires and a partner is sharing that contact level data with you, you'll see which context the partner has shared on the account along with their role in the deal. So whether they're considered a key decision maker, an influencer, or a buyer, which is really cool and super handy to have that information. So when we launched this back in November, these signals were and are still available via API and webhook. But now we've layered in our new signals as something that our MCP server can also leverage as well. So when you're asking ChatGPT or Claude or your own internal AI assistant about an account or which account to prioritize, and you're connected to the Crossbeam MCP server, those signals will now get piped into the response for just even better prioritization and outreach overall. So with that, I will now hand it over to Natasha to showcase what this looks like in action.
Awesome, thank you. All right, let me just find the right window here. Cool, so I first want to show how Product Object Sync is going to help you connect your product data to your partner strategy. So let's start over here in account mapping, which Megan showed you earlier. I'll filter this down to our open opportunities. So I'm only looking at deals that actually matter to me right now. And next I'll filter down by product. Let's look at product name and say we want premium widget. And because we're syncing our product data directly from Salesforce, I can now see exactly which deals are tied to that specific product. And now here's where this gets really powerful. I can quickly identify which of my premium widget opportunities are customers of specific partners. Let's say I want to only look at my tier 1 partners. At this point, maybe the question I'm answering is, where can a strategic partner actually help me move a deal forward? If I already have a strong integration or relationship with one of these tier 1 partners, that's a great signal to bring them into this deal, whether that's for credibility or technical validation or co-selling. Maybe we have an integration with this premium widget and our partner Holver. And once I've identified those opportunities, I can then save this list and then share it directly with the seller on my team. So instead of sending over any screenshots or spreadsheets or exporting this list in any way, I'm giving them a clear prioritized view where a partner can add real value right now for a specific strategic product that we're selling. So the big takeaway here is that Product Object Sync lets you go from product data to partner action without needing to leave Crossbeam. So now let's switch gears and look at how this comes together inside a tool that a seller may be using. So let's say I'm a seller and I'm working in Claude, where I've connected all of my tools, including Crossbeam's MCP. As you can see here, I've already started my day by asking a simple question, which is, hey, what deal should I focus on today? What comes back is a clear prioritized list of deals with reasons why. And one of those reasons is that those signals in my ecosystem. So I can see I should focus on the Data Sync Corp deal. It's going to close pretty soon. And my partner Brazala just opened a new opportunity with them 2 days ago, which means their rep is probably actively engaged on that right now. And that's my co-sell window. This is just a really great way to easily start your day and understand where you need to focus and how ecosystem data layers into that. Okay, so now remembering back that list that my manager just shared with me, the one we just built showing premium widget opportunities that overlap with our tier 1 partners. Let's say I reviewed that list yesterday with my manager and I decided to prioritize an opportunity with SurveyPal. And now I want to understand if anything has happened in my partner ecosystem that is relevant to me around SurveyPal before I reach out to them. Let's find out if any activity has happened on SurveyPal. Cool. So when I ask this question, I can immediately see which partners have recently opened or closed deals with SurveyPal. I can see Bazala has just closed a deal with them 2 weeks ago. I can see the contact data, who was involved on that Bazala deal. I can also see the Holver opened a brand new opportunity just 5 days ago and who was also involved on that. And this is just incredibly useful context. If a partner just closed the deal, they may have fresh insights or momentum. If they just open the deal, it might just be the perfect time to align on messaging or coordinating outreach. What's really powerful here is the Crossbeam's MCP server lets you pull all of your ecosystem data, including those real-time partner signals, directly into your AI tools, so sellers get the right context at the right moment when they're deciding what to do next. So that's what I want to show you today, how these pieces work together. That product object sync helps you identify where partners can make the biggest impact down to the exact products and opportunities you care about. And then Crossbeam's MCP and signals can bring that ecosystem context directly into the tools your team already works in. Our Crossbeam MCP server is in beta right now. You can find that on the labs page as well if you'd like to request access. I'm going to pass it back to Chelsea.
Cool. Thanks, Natasha. It's so cool to see like how all of that stuff kind of comes together. I'm curious too for everyone on what are the core AI tools that you're using in your workplace, and like how could ecosystem data help there? If you just want to plop it into the chat, it'd be interesting to hear and know. But moving on. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So as more teams, start to rely on this ecosystem data, access and governance needs to scale as well. So our scale section here is really about making sure that clarity and depth don't create additional and unnecessary complexity. So we're really looking to bring functionality to our customers that help automate provisioning and just centralize access management overall. And then really building on smarter sharing controls and just greater oversight there overall as well. So we've released some updates to our SCIM experience. So you're now able to set up a portion of the configuration within our Crossbeam app. So really kind of making this more of a self-serve experience for our customers. And again, this just helps automate user provisioning and deprovisioning via your identity provider, and really helps to improve security and compliance overall. We're not going to demo this one because there's not a lot to demo for you all, but this is available on our enterprise plan, and the setup is super easy and straightforward. Just head to your organization settings in Crossbeam and follow the steps. But this is a really cool update for our teams and for our enterprise orgs as well. And then kind of like the last thing I want to touch on here is we are making it easier to manage and edit sharing settings by population and partner in kind of like one single space. So you don't need to jump around and make separate changes here. And this really kind of helps to centralize that ecosystem governance piece that we talked about. So we're bringing you a better sharing experience overall. And the one really cool update here to point out is that we're allowing you to apply bulk changes across sharing settings, which I think will make a lot of folks happy. So again, this is actually available in beta. So as we mentioned before, if you'd like to try out our new sharing experience, you can head to the labs section in Crossbeam and request access to the beta. So with that, I will hand it over to Samia to give y'all a little sneak peek of what this beta experience looks like.
Thanks, Chelsea. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen here. So yeah, this new addition or new improvement to our sharing settings is going to be particularly great if you have multiple populations, multiple partners, maybe like complex sharing settings and like custom sharing settings by partner tier, etc. And you want to be able to manage all of that across populations and across partners. In the past, or like in the current version, you would have to do that in a kind of like a population by population way. And we now have introduced, as Chelsea was saying, the possibility to do that in bulk. So showing you how that looks like under your this data section, default sharing, this is your default sharing settings. So this is where you define how you're going to be sharing each of your populations by default. So this should look pretty similar to what you have now. The main changes are this. First of all, I can now filter my populations to be able to drill down into specific ones by population type. So looking into customers, open ops, prospects. I can also filter by sharing level. Let's say that I want to look into all the populations that I'm currently hiding and change the settings for those. That would be the way to do that. And I can also filter by field presets. And more importantly, I'm going to be able, so let's say I want to focus just on my customer populations. So these are all my customer populations. Now I filtered by them. I'm going to be able to select all of them at once. And with this little edit button that you see here, I'm going to be able to apply changes in terms of sharing settings to all of them at once. So for instance, I could choose to start sharing all accounts. So that includes overlapping and non-overlapping here. And I could choose to keep the Crossbeam default shared fields if I want, or potentially use auto ones when that makes sense. And then I hit the save button and the changes are applied to all my populations. This is just a great way. Like you can use also this feature to like audit where you stand from a sharing standpoint, make sure that every partner tier, every population is shared in accordance to your requirements. Now, another thing that I would like to show here is that you're able to also focus on one specific populations just by clicking on it. So I'm going to click into the customers population. And now you get to this view where you have a full glimpse of how you're sharing this population with all of your partners. So these are all of your partners right here. And you're going to be able to see if you're using the default sharing settings or the custom sharing settings, and then change that by partner. And even here, you have that bulk change setting where you can just edit how you share a specific population for all partners at once. And the nice thing here, if you are using partner tags, is you're going to be able to use that to focus on how you want to share for each of your partner tiers, for instance. So that's pretty much it. We are currently on beta. Like Chelsea said, it's an open beta, so feel free to join. I'm very happy to have more companies join this one. And that is it on my side.
I'm on mute. Rookie mistake. Thank you so much, Samia. That's a really fun, some fun updates to our sharing settings that I think a lot of folks will definitely appreciate. Let me just share my screen one last time. So I guess, again, just kind of like bringing this all together. You know, clarity brings everything into one view. The depth adds that product and context signal context, and then scale just kind of ensures that this is all working seamlessly across your growing teams. And with that, I think we have a handful of questions, so we can open it up to our live Q&A. If you haven't asked a question yet, feel free to pop it into the chat, and we can answer it for you. So let me stop sharing my screen so that all of our heads are on here. Cool. Let's see. Will this recording and the associated documents be sent out? Yep, we will send the recording of the webinar out. So that one will be good. This one, I think you answered it already, Natasha, in the chat, but maybe we can answer it live for everyone. Is there an integration to the customer's partner directory? This would be required to access partner tier information. Also, the partner may be using a different product SKU. How do you do the mapping?
Cool. Yeah, I did answer this one. In my demo, I was relying on the partner tags within Crossbeam. That is typically what we see our customers using to tag their different partners of different levels. Samia, maybe you could speak a little bit to whether we plan on having an integration with any partner directories. But right now we do not. That is definitely good feedback for the product team, however.
Yeah, not planned for now, but definitely feedback we're taking into consideration.
Yeah, and in terms of how we're mapping to partner products, right now you're able to filter down. So you're able to sync over your own product data and then filter your lists and share your product data, create populations and so on with your own product data. We are working on standardizing the account product information so that then you can filter by partner products as well. I am curious to learn more about what the mapping here would be for different. I suspect everyone will have different SKUs since we're selling different products, partner to partner, but maybe I misunderstood something in that question. So if you do want to post in the chat and clarify, I'm happy to then continue that conversation there.
Cool. Thanks, Natasha. Ken asked, I do not see the new sharing settings. Is this only available to admin users? So maybe Megan, you can kind of walk through sharing settings for our new list experience.
Yeah, Chelsea, I think the sharing hub. Yeah, I think yes, I think Ken meant the sharing hub that I showed. So it's only on beta right now, but Ken, I'll look into it and enable it for you if you're interested. And obviously, this message is for anyone. Feel free to go into labs and request access.
Perfect. My bad. I thought that was about the list sharing settings, but thanks for clarifying, Samia. Let's see. There were a couple of questions about other AI tools that integrate with our MCP server. So Natasha, maybe you can kind of speak to which ones we're working on and maybe what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, my favorite topic. So right now, the one that I showed is Claude because we are listed in Claude's directory, so it's very easy to connect with just a couple of clicks. A reminder that the Crossbeam MCP is in beta, so we do need to enable it for you. You'll see it in Claude's directory, and if you try to connect, you're going to hit an error. So if you would like access, please reach out to your account executive, and then we can get that enabled for you. We are working on Glean. I know Glean is a really big one. I hear it a lot. We are currently working on Glean, so very excited about that. It is currently possible to connect Crossbeam's MCP as a custom connector to Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT. We've seen it also connected to tools like LibreChat. And then we are working on getting the MCP listed as an app in all of the ones I just mentioned, as well as Gemini. So if there are any other tools that you are using that I have not listed, please do reach out to me, reach out to your account executive, pass on that feedback. I'd love to hear it. We are actively working on this, and I'd love to prioritize some more tools there. Also, a reminder that the MCP is definitely also able to connect to any internal chats that you may be building. For example, at Crossbeam, we have a great article about this in our education center. We have deployed an AI assistant that lives within our Slack that is fully built on N8N. And Crossbeam MCP does also connect to N8N.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Another question around product line support. Any timeline on HubSpot being able to sync from HubSpot?
That's me again. Right now, no, we are working on standardizing the account information. So if you're a Salesforce user, you will know that product 2, the product data object within Salesforce, is linked to opportunities, not the accounts. Meaning that when we're within Crossbeam and we're looking at a list of accounts, we won't know if that account is a customer of a specific product of a partner, because it is all on opportunity level based. So we are working on standardizing and normalizing that data within Crossbeam so that you can then filter down to your products, which overlap with your partner specific product as well. That is our next priority right now. And then we are looking into other CRMs that will then be determined by our customer needs. So we are considering both HubSpot and Microsoft Dynamics at this point.
Perfect. Thanks for clarifying. Another question, I believe this is related to lists, but does this work for sales seats? So I don't know, Megan, if you want to dive into some sharing there.
Yeah, I can chime in there. Yeah, so lists will be available to sales seats. They can be added to a list. They won't be able to create their own. But if the full access user creates either account mapping list or any other type of list, they can go ahead and share that with a sales seat.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest updates to our list experience is being able to share those dynamic lists with sellers and allow them to collaborate. So very, very cool feature. Let's see here. Probably another question for you, Natasha. When will we be able to export contacts from Crossbeam into Clay, Claude, or HubSpot? Is that on the roadmap?
Great question. Not on the roadmap just yet. We do have the custom object in HubSpot, so this is something that I'll add to my list to dig a little deeper into and see if there are any quick wins for us here. Just to plug the Crossbeam MCP once more, we are working on the tool for contacts within the MCP, so that will potentially be a quicker path forward to getting the contact data where you need it.
Amazing, thank you. Let's see. Probably another one for you, Natasha. Just got all the questions today. Can I control which ecosystem signals trigger Slack or email notifications?
Yes. So when you set up a webhook, or if you're taking the endpoint route, the API endpoint route, you'd be able to control of those, or filter down to all of those parameters within there. When setting up the webhook, all of that is done within the Crossbeam UI. So if you're familiar with our custom object pushes or CRM pushes, you'll know that we have a drawer that comes out where you can filter down to which of your populations, which of your partner populations, exactly which data you want to overlap data you want to push into your CRM. The experience is very similar for the webhook as well. So you're able to control which accounts you want to get signals for, which partners, closing and opening opportunities you want to get those signals for as well. And then those webhooks are the ones that you would then connect as incoming webhooks into Slack or whatever other workflow that you want. So all of that is filterable on the Crossbeam UI.
Very cool, thank you. This question, is there a repository of partnership contracts in Crossbeam, i.e. a place where I could store the contracts and perhaps also review the commissions between the partners? No, we do not currently have a place for that or a repository for that. So I just wanted to answer that one really quickly. Maybe this one is between maybe you, Samia, and Megan, but is there an easy way to flag customers who are already assigned to a partner to avoid conflicts? I think that could probably be done with partner tags and or population creation. So I don't know if either of you want to maybe dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I was thinking it could also be related to partner attribution somehow. If it's about like a customer or a deal that we're attributing or we're going to work on with a partner, just trying to clarify your use case, Ken, if you will. But yeah, there are indeed some ways that could be done through populations, through tagging, but just want to make sure I get the full context to answer correctly.
Yeah, Ken,
Unless you had an answer, Megan or Natasha, I don't know.
I think maybe one way to just understand if a partner is already involved is by looking at the activity timeline on that account. Within that timeline, we capture any activity that may have happened on the Crossbeam user side, as well as any partners that may have been involved. So I think that is potentially one way. I think a limitation there is that we do understand a lot of that interaction happens off of Crossbeam as well, which is currently not captured within that timeline. So it's just something to be mindful of.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, Ken, if you're still on and you have any additional clarification, please plop it into the chat and we're happy to answer. One other question, I think this was related to our list functionality. So maybe this one is for you, but do you need Supernode for this?
Yeah, so the list functionality in general is available for all tiers, but the free tier will have a limited view of the account mapping list as well as other types of list creation. But for the most part, it's available for all of the paid accounts.
Perfect. Well, and then last question, this might be for you, Samia. We can talk about manage offline partners, but quick question, AWS does not share their CRM with partners. Not sure how you're doing account mapping with them.
Sorry, can you read that slower, please, Chelsea?
AWS does not share their CRM with partners. Not sure how you're doing account mapping with this. So maybe we can speak to offline partners.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, AWS is currently available as a managed offline partner. So managed offline partners are basically companies for which Crossbeam is sourcing and maintaining customer data based on publicly available data. And we're basically making that data available for you to map against. So there's no CRM shared on their side indeed, and there's no data that needs to be shared on your side with them either. It's really you mapping against an open data source, if you will. The way we see it, it's a way to get value and hopefully a stepping stone to actually creating a connection and like a real partnership with the managed offline partner.
Yeah, and if you haven't explored our managed offline partners, definitely take a look. It's a really cool functionality that we have available. Cool. Well, I think that's all of our questions. So we can hop off of our webinar a little early for everyone today. If you do have any additional questions that come to mind, please feel free to reach out to us at Crossbeam. You can send us an email or chat in-app with us as well. But otherwise, we really thank you for the time and appreciate all of the interaction. And we will see you next release.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.